shovel. Taking the din down and throwing that rock up in here, and I'm going to scoop it over here, putting it in here so we can put concrete in. I taught him how to do that.
Denny brought my rock around, and it's headed there by the wall. And then what we're doing, we're taking it in and scooping. We got the bucket on backwards and scooping, and we're throwing it up there so we can shovel it in and get it right to where we need it. Now, where Stevie's sitting, where that culvert is, that big culvert is where the dust concave tunnel is. And down there under where Stevie was just sitting, where the shovel's sitting there right now, that son of a buck went down there probably 5 feet when we started. I mean, it was deep. It was over half the distance down the culvert. Now, we want gravel around this culvert so we don't want water sitting around it. You know, we want it to kind of have a, a daggone dead air space, we think. You know, we probably should have encased it in concrete and in hindsight being 2020 because of some ever having that culvert rots out or something. But we're going to try to keep it from rotting out and keep it dry around the best we could. You know, it's just a part of the mill basically where the funding ran out when we put the mill in years and years and years ago. And we're just now getting back to it to finish it. And what Stevie's doing, we're in super mode. Look how much faster that I shoveled than Stevie did. Has anybody noticed that? Look at that. Just wide open. Stevie, you need to learn. Stevie, you're going to learn today. You know, Stevie cried around telling you so now I'm shoveling and now it's happening, Stevie. Now it's happening. And then Jenny come along and she's raking and trying to, and what we're doing, we're trying to get extra gravel up here because we got some guys hired that's going to come in and do the form work. And what we're trying to do is get the gravel scooped in there to where when they come in to form it up, they're going to kind of form the footer out of there too. So when they come to form it up, all the gravel they could ever need is already in there. And if they get excess gravel, we can either set it up on the concrete up there in a pile. You know, probably that's what we'll do. Probably set it up on a pile. When everything's done, it's all done and finished, we'll push it back outside. See, there it is from the outside. You can see where the old pad's starting to get up in there. And there's Julius and he's the one on the outside doing the cutting with the cutting wheel, and one on the inside is Royce. And them two are good fellas now. They're good men. And anyhow, they come out to help me cut the the rough opening out for the door, and I know my camera ain't zoomed right, or focused right. It's focused on the din controls instead of on Julius out there. I'm sorry, Bubba, can't see you. But there's Royce underneath there looking down. And Royce on the inside, and them guys kind of have a little bit of more background carpentry than I do. I'm not a good carpenter. So I'm glad to have him helping. We got a door to put in it that we tore down in the second story on there. Tear down up above in the pallet room. So, and what this is going to do, we'll get the rough opening out, and that gives us room to get in and out here during the project. But after they pour the footer, what I intend to do down there where the extension cord is, just being quiet a minute. I'm gonna let this go.
Go down? Yeah, he's got to cut the wood. Wood's holding. A bucket up there, so balls in the bucket.
Alright, now Royce on the inside with the he's finishing up. Royce is on the inside with the sawzall, then the finishing cut on the inside. There it is. Boom. Boom. We're going to set this door out of the way and set it up to where we can walk on it during the project here. So, now that old door up there, that goes to nowhere. That door got filled in electric panels behind it. It needs took out in 10.
Say that, Junior! Where's the hole in there? Don't jump! Don't jump!
Alright, here we are sitting back here. This is a terrible shot. But we're getting ready to set the blocks in down below, which I'll explain here in a little bit. Down below, we're doing our own type of footer to extend the wall out, because this is basically what holds the sawmill building up, and we're not taking chances. So we're going to set these blocks in, and it'll make all sense later, directly, as this project goes along, what we're doing. Mills, I think the mills shut down, the powder room started at this point. That's the thing Big Daddy always says about when you're doing construction projects around a sawmill is the mill never shuts down. That's the key. To always do it when the mill's still running. So, which kind of makes it aggravating with sawdust flying around all the time and equipment moving and stuff. But it's keeps, you know, cash flow moving while you're blowing money, you know. But this here, and the problem with this type of, the problem with daggone, you know, foundation maintenance is it don't show up. You know, there's not a big pop right after it's done. It gain in margins, you know, say, well, we done that and that equaled this and that's great, you know. Well, no, you'll probably never see the benefits from it, but the withdrawals from it is the mill slide over the hill. So it has to be done, you know. Of course, I get tormented for the din-din all the time. This here is the din-din's element, and this is one of the reasons I love the cat so much. I love this cat because it's smooth. It's very smooth. And in this application, you got people around you and stuff, and daggone, it is precise and smooth. It's just like the crane on Whitey. I mean, every move you make with it is just precise. And in an application like this, we got to swing stuff up over top of things, you know, like a crane. It's nice to have a predictable, smooth running, easy going machine.
She says she's here. Alright. So we're spacing them out. And then Roy said he come up with the idea of leaning them back a little bit so they don't kind of fall out. And we got to pick them up over the top of everything and set them. I'm going to set y'all back up. Sitting there.
What? No.
Come here. Come here. Let me check it out.
Ow! Some broken toe. These pants make my butt fat.
No, the pants don't make your butt look.
Does the butt make the pants look fat?
Make your butt look, make your pants look. Can't go. Day's working.
Because I kind of thought my butt looked fat in these pants.
No comment.
Okay, that tells me that.
Well, I'm just trying to stay out of it. Just trying not to get myself in trouble.
Just saying, bro.
Alright, so what we're doing now is we're getting our last picks. Now we got 2 blocks after we got the 4 blocks down. And 1 block we set, I kind of did some trimming around so it didn't get so redundant. But one of the blocks we set actually turned out to be not the right dimensions. So we ended up having to take the block out and call it. It'll have to be used in a different application some other time. But and I think it's this one. If you look at the bottom of the bell, the square part on the bottom of the bell, it's like only 4.5 inches, and they're supposed to be over 6, which has screwed up the height of the block. I don't know what that was about. I don't know how the blocks was poured or made. You know, I'm sure they was made with excess concrete from the company that was forming them up, but the block just didn't turn out to be the right dimensions. And we didn't know that till we said it, because we're us. We're the way we are. That's why we keep rolling. You know, but look how I wanted to. I kept showing this because I thought this was cool. The Din being used in a crane application and how smooth. Now it's got a setting on the hydraulics that you set it and it's real smooth, and the way the hydraulics reacts to the load and stuff is really smooth, and which you can tell. You got a swinging pendulum on that thing. You can tell by how controlled it stays. You know, out there 25 feet or so. Anyway, you know, full reaching 28 feet, I guess. You know, close to pushing 30 after you add the coupler to it. You know, and the distance of it angling around. But it's just smooth. But we got to reach over there. Now, years ago, we made this. Now, the barn cleaner's another story. We're going to get on that. The blue machine running on the left up there, that's going. We're taking that out sometime down the road here shortly, probably the next year or two. And all that framework and stuff's leaving, but and the framework's in the way, so I'm having to reach over top of the framework and reaching over it with the jib boom to hook the next block. So Guinea's back there at the loader. She's setting blocks. See, we're finding out this block's wrong. We're gonna have to set it back out. But I might have cut that out directly. But Guinea's over there. She's setting the blocks in the hole. Now, the reason we ain't setting them with the loaders because I'm perched up on a big old sycamore log on the back side to level me out. But like if you put it in to set it with the wheel loader, it's pumpy and aggravating. You can set them so much quicker with a crane style setup, you know, just because of how smooth it works. But anyways, we're going to set the 4 on the bottom, which the one we're setting is wrong, so I got to set it back out and reset another one. But after we get it set, and here's another one, I just skipped taking it back out there, a little midst of defeat. Look at the square spot on the bottom of this bale, and you'll see it's closer to 6 inches when it spins around. See that? See how much taller it is than the other one was? The other one's only like 4 or 4.5. And that was our height difference. So anyways, we're going to set this one right, the one I'm swinging around here now. So it's going to be block number 4. And then she's going to set 2 more up there. And we're just going to swing them around and drop them in the hole. And then we'll back Whitey in. Me and Pooh's going to start framing up with some steel, forming up, and then putting some bracing in there to hold her block stout. And it gets poured into concrete. And then we'll take these last 2 that we're setting up after this block. We'll set them up with Whitey and dry fit everything. We got to dry fit everything and then take the blocks back off, make the concrete pour on the base, and then set the blocks back on real quick while the pumper truck's here. And then when they come back around, see, we're pouring a bunch of things around here when we're making the pour next week, which is going to be crazy because the week you're watching this, we're logging. We're going to be logging. The pallet room's running, so the mill's got time to do all this concrete work, and everything just happened all at once. So the weather broke right now when y'all was watching this. The weather's broke in our area, and we're logging and constructing at the same time. All this chaos come to a head at once. We ran out of logs, doing all this construction, and now it's time to log. Yeah, when it rains, it pours. But by the time y'all's watching this, the Din's done back out topping degrees. But that's and then we're going to drop down. I'm dropping the boom down to manually. Now, a little string you're seeing hang out the side of that hydraulic hose, that's the hydraulic protector trying to come undone from waddling around the bush some. But we're bumping the block in with the boom now. That's why I'm down there low. And then next after this, we're going to go grab the 2 blocks just to rough set them in so they're close to where Whitey can set them later. And yes, an FYI, these bales is about all Whitey wants. It lifts it and stuff, but it's about all. It's getting close to I hate pulling too hard on Waddy on stuff like this because it really flexes my service truck bed and stuff. You know, it puts a lot of deflection in through my service boxes and stuff. You'll see in the next video the big lift Waddy's got to make for this. See how I got a watch going down so I don't hit the main boom on that framework that we put up there to hold that barn cleaner up. That barn cleaner's a piece of crap. We all hate it. But we got a fix for it coming down the road further. Now look how quick and responsive this thing is for this type of application. The control. Look how the block don't shake or nothing because the hydraulic's not throwing any craziness. But look, I'm still raising it pretty fast and starting to swing pretty fast and stuff. The only thing that's awkward is the what you're lifting so far above your head that I don't know if you can see my head in there or not. It's a long ways up there. Yeah, see my hat? I'm looking through the skylight, which ain't the clearest thing to look through in the world. And I got my window thrown up there so I can talk to everybody out the front window. And there comes Guinea with another block in the background. See her coming in? Yeah, scared Royce a little bit. Yeah, we're coming in for a landing, Royce. Look out, buddy. And we go out and get the last one. Guinea hauled that last block out that didn't work and brought us back a new one. She just come around with a new one. Is what she did. Yep. But no, I guess it's gonna be about the end of this video. I'm sorry it went on so long. Some people will love this, some people will get on me for this because it's a long, boring video. But when I get around a construction site, see guys doing construction stuff, I just get mesmerized by it. So I could sit there and watch something boring like this all day. Some people think it's boring, but to see teamwork, especially guys that know, you know, all of us, we're kind of a motley crew. We're a crew of sawmillers, you know. We're not, you know, you see construction people that does this every day. They're just, and them two guys there you're seeing, Royce and Pooh, they're pretty intelligent people, you know. It ain't hard for them to step into a construction atmosphere and just pick it right. You know, I'm leaning on them guys a lot to know something about what we're doing. You know, I'm good at, I feel like I'm decent at getting a dent in there and doing things, but and welding and stuff, I think I'm decent at. But having them guys around, you know, they're tormenting Rick and Ball and Zach come up there to torment us, and but I mean, having these guys like this around, they're really, you know, I mean, they're really intelligent, really in there. Kind of helps move the project along. Thanks, everybody. Check y'all in the next one. Later.